We are back. Aha, I am joined. Welcome to another virtual water cooler. Right out the gate, I've got Carla. She was chomping at the bit. Wait, as soon as what is it? 11:30 for you, right?
It is 12:30 for me.
12:30 for you. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh yes, because we haven't changed our clocks yet. So we are changing this weekend coming up. So we'll
Springing
be
forward.
we'll be swinging forward. So that'll be great. But yeah, I'm excited. We had a good chat last week, and I'm looking forward to a stimulating conversation this week as well. But Carla, how are you? Let's start with what. How's your week been?
I feel great. It's been a little hectic, but I'm fine, Steve. How are you?
That's good. I am good. I am good. I've been going to the gym. I've been going to the gym more regularly. It's something that I wanted to instill more of. Like fits and starts. Sometimes you go and then you sort of don't go for a while. And you think, I should go. But I've been reading a book as I do, and it's kind of stimulated. It kind of prompted me um, to look at um, what it takes to show up as your best self in different scenarios. And one of the scenarios I used so that some of the principles of the book in is in the gym. So I created an alter ego
I need to create
persona.
one because I went to the gym this morning and yesterday, and no, it's not my favorite thing. I have to self talk. I have to push myself, like I told you about last week.
Mm,
And I used to love it, but see,
mm.
that was in my 20s. I worked out like 3 times a day back then, and now it's like my bones are talking, my muscles are talking, my body is talking. It's like they're all having these conversations with me like, you really want to go, you don't have to do that.
Uh,
Are you going or not, and it's
right.
yeah, i'm not hearing voices, but this is what goes on with me every morning when that clock goes off at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I'll just switch the screen on a little bit. But yes, it is one of those things that definitely, yeah, definitely helps. It helps having that. The book is called The Alter Ego Effect. Tom or Todd
Yeah.
Herman, I think. Very interesting.
Who's it by?
I think it's uh, Tom or Todd Herman. I think his name is. It's on my. Should look it up. The Alter Ego Effect.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, but it is interesting. And you know, certain things. Todd Herman. Um, certain things sort of land and resonate, and other things are like, well, it takes a bit more work. I get it, and I guess it's like a buffet. You eat you eat what serves you. You don't have to eat everything that's being presented to you on the menu.
Right.
So one thing took away is creating that character. We see it all the time. You work with you work with young kids. You're in dance world, and you know it. You know the difference between a child that just comes in because they've been told to, or there's circumstances which they've been brought there, versus somebody who walks in there with a character larger than life. They imagine themselves to be a princess or a prince or a warrior or a gymnast or a ballerina. They come in there with
They
that
want it.
alter that character, right? And it shows up in how they present themselves. And um, I I know I see that working with kids in my space as well. What would Batman do? What would Superman do? That kind of thing. you know, and they know characteristics of those characters,
But it's
in a
possible for
context.
them to become them also.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's
Right.
it. Even just that might
I
that
look at my
shift.
little brother. I keep telling people about my little brother. He's a grown man now, but he's still in his He's in his late 30s now,
Mm.
but he dressed up like Batman all the time. He
Wow.
had the boots on, his little cape, and that Batman shirt, and he still walks around a lot of times with the Batman T-shirt on. And he works for Disney now, and he's a project
Oh,
manager for them. So kids, that's why I keep telling people, kids know what they want to be. People, adults, usually try to tell them who they are and who they want them to be, but
yes.
they already know. What if
Yeah.
we had told him, no, you can't be Batman. No, take off those boots. You look ridiculous. Take that cape off. Don't do that. Stop saying you're Batman and all this stuff. Then what would have
Hmm.
happened? I wonder. He wouldn't be
Yeah.
living his dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess sometimes we do that. We, as a parent, we do that sometimes with the best will in the world, but we don't know the impact of that. We don't know. We You could argue that we're protecting them or keeping them in the real world, or there's some rationalization that we put on why we want kids to be kids until we don't want them to be kids, and then we want them to be
And
grown up and
it's trying to make them
sensible.
right. It's making them who into somebody that they weren't called to be. That's why
Mm.
there's a lot of unhappy people out here. My daughter, it's her birthday today. I
Oh,
better say
happy
it before I get
birthday.
in trouble. She's 31 today. Thank God
Wow.
it's not 30 last year, because I helped throw her 30th birthday party, and every time I looked up, it was another expense, another expense, another expense.
Mm.
Felt like I was throwing money up in the air like this.
So
But
31's just a regular birthday now.
it's regular. She was like, so
Oh.
what are we gonna do? I said, oh, you got your birthday present last year, didn't you? Yeah, and you get your birthday year round. I don't see why I need to buy you a gift this year. Let your friend buy you one. She said, oh, we have dinner reservations anyway. But I made sure I put her last birthday post up. I've been counting down. I used to do it like for the whole month, and I really don't
Mm.
have time to do that. It takes, I have to set aside time to sit there and think of a creative birthday post each day. So today was the last one. It was like, woohoo!
Oh,
I don't have to do it tomorrow morning. But I
oh
knew if
man.
I didn't do it today, I would hear her mouth later. And she
Mm.
would go, oh, it's no problem. Or I would get a text, oh, okay. Or an okay. That
Oh yeah.
okay is not
The
okay,
hot,
Steve.
the hot
So
okay. Yeah, the not
yeah,
okay.
no, that okay text does not mean okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not for my child. So yeah, it's her
Oh man.
birthday, and
That's
she should be happy
fantastic.
now. I told her happy
That's
birthday on your show,
Yes, yes. Yeah. What's her name?
Kamaria.
Kamaria. Kamaria.
She
Happy
goes
birthday,
by
Kamaria.
Mari with her close friends. My
Right.
family calls her KT.
Okay.
So
There
yeah,
you
I
go.
have other baby nicknames for her that I still call her. And when other people, it'll slip sometimes, and or even in my writing, and people go, what is that? What is that KOO? And she's like, don't call me that. My mother calls me that, and that's the only person that gets away with calling me that.
Ah. Well, and again, that speaks to speaks to some of that, not alter ego, that speaks to the I guess it's a term of endearment. I mean, I have
It
pet names
is.
for my daughters. My oldest turned 30 last earlier this month.
Oh,
So
it's gonna
yeah.
cost you.
Ah,
It's gonna
it's gonna
cost
cost.
you.
I forgot to text her on her birthday. She's in Asia,
Did
so
you
it's
do
already
this
gonna.
last year too?
It's already got. Oh, stop! No, no,
Yeah,
no! I didn't forget last year.
you forgot
Did I?
somebody's birthday last year, I think, Steve. I don't remember a lot, but I remember some things, and I think it was you. And
Oh,
Mr. Whiskey was on here. I believe you did it last year.
oh! It could have been. It wouldn't. No,
It
I don't
might not
think
have
it
been
was. I
that
don't
daughter,
think it
but
was a Dina. Yeah, it might be the other one.
the
Oh
other
my
one.
god. Oh, you know what? I think yes. I think it was Danielle. But yes, it's already got. Yeah, it's gonna cost me. But I'm looking forward to paying that cost, because it's a long overdue in-person visit. She couldn't make it to Europe because of the Middle East stuff going on, so flights were cancelled through that part of the world. But prayerfully we'll get together soon. So, but yes, that, like I said, I've got pet names as well, and only in the context of a parent, only in the context of
Right.
those sorts of communications does
I
that
thought you were getting ready to
work.
reveal yours, because if you revealed yours, then I would have had to reveal mine and tell my daughter, well, Steve did it and I was on his show, so I had to be polite and share yours.
so so the book, the alter ego effect is I've created a persona that goes to the gym, and and uh and it's really not, it's really good because I think of that role where, in the context of going to the gym.
Okay.
So uh and and I think the key thing is that in the book it mentions the classic ones are like, the Superman story or the Batman story. They have a sort of an origin story to those characters, and it
Right.
helps kind of it's useful for your alter ego to have an origin story because it makes it more personal. It makes it more tangible as a character.
So you're trying to be like me. I'm the sickle cell warrior. When you see those posts that I get my friend Tammy to do with the cape and the costume on and the boots, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I have to get her to make you into a cartoon character for your gym
Oh,
workout. She will do it gladly. She'll do it, and she does it so fast.
oh wow.
Oh, yeah, she's good.
Okay, okay. I may share. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I may to. I don't. I have one for the gym, but I don't have one for. I don't have one for the coaching business, and there may be. It's interesting because the alter egos work best in the context of their area. He calls it area of play, or field of play, because he's a sports performance guy. So it makes sense. If you're going to come up to the bat as a baseball player, you want to be in that character that's going to get you the best performance from your sport. Or if you're a track athlete, you when you get into the blocks, you take on a different persona. As you put your feet, it may be putting your feet in the blocks is the activating event, or maybe just coming out of the changing room. Once you put your cleats on, your running shoes, your spikes, you're in mode again. In dance, once you got
When the curtain opens, usually for most of my kids, when that curtain opens, once they get the makeup on, they're a whole different person. Usually it's not the costume because they've tried them on several times.
Okay.
Usually, by the time it's time for the show. Some people, yeah. Some when they get the costume, they start dancing better during rehearsals. Even though I don't let them wear them for every rehearsal, just a dress rehearsal, and only part of that because I don't want it to get messed up or dirty or whatever. But but when that curtain opens, everybody, they know it's game on. That light comes on, the curtain opens, it's on.
Wow. Yeah. And that's important to match your persona to the field. It wouldn't work as well if it's not a curtain opening, but doing homework, having the same character that gets you through a dance recital or a performance may not be the same character that will get you through your homework. There may be qualities in the person, but it's not the same field of play. And
right.
For me, I noticed that I used to go to the gym before, and I used to think, well, let me double up on my activity. I'll go to the gym and I'll listen to a book, or I'll go to the gym and watch if I'm on a treadmill or stationary bike. And I usually on those for quite a while, so long enough to sort of do something else. This time around, going to the gym, I don't do anything else but the gym. I single focus, because you don't see. I mean, my thing is, you don't see Superman going to the grocery store, right, in his costume, or you don't see Batman picking up dry cleaning,
right,
from the Batmobile. They're in their persona for a purpose. Once that purpose is finished, then they go back to their alter or their other persona, and then do the regular things. So for me, it was like, no, don't mix up don't try and think you're running a cheat code by listening to something while you work out. Just work out, you know.
See,
So
I have to do something. I guess
mm,
that's part of my self-diagnosed ADHD. I have to. I'm singing "Oh, I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston in my head, not out loud because I can't sing a lick, and everybody would be looking like, "What in the world? Please shut up." But that's one of the songs, and I'll just keep singing that in my head, and that
mhm,
kind of pushes me through because again, I don't like it. Once I do it, then it's like, okay, I do feel better. I
yeah,
do feel better. I'm glad I came. But while I'm doing it, it's like I could think of a zillion other things to do. So when I do that song, that kind of in my head and a couple others, it gets me centered, and I'm like, okay, you got this. And then
yeah.
the time starts to go by quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad thing. If I mean, I've got a soundtrack. I've got a soundtrack that or a music genre, usually sort of garage or some hip hop, that is energetic enough that fits in with the persona that goes to the gym. You
Okay.
know, and those tracks I only play at the gym, or I primarily play at the gym. I might play them outside of it, but I primarily, when I play them, I think of they're associated with the workout or with the workout time. So that in itself is good, but I won't bring in other things that sort of say, oh, while you're at the gym, let's go check mail or, check socials, or that becomes for me, it's a dilution. And it's too easy to dilute this day and age. You can literally do, we think we can multitask, and we do, but we do the two tasks poorly, rather than just because we do two tasks at once doesn't mean you're doubling up. You're halving the quality of each of the tasks usually when you multitask. So for me, it's like, no, let's just keep it on. Let's keep it on track. Yeah. But I do want to. I also, while I'm here, I do want to shout. I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Whiskey.
Where is he? Is he
Don't know
on
if
here?
you see it. He's in Japan,
Okay.
and he recently got engaged.
What?
Yes, he
Wow.
is.
Congratulations,
He is
Mr.
in.
Whiskey.
There he is. There's a picture from
Wow.
one of his posts with Camille. If I
Uh-oh.
got her name right.
Oh, I thought he was popping on. Wow.
And he hasn't. He hasn't got. I thought
He looks
I
really
shared this one because he said again.
he looks really happy, and he doesn't look as young. He looks young still, but not as like he doesn't look quite 15 like he normally does. I'll give him 19 on there, 19 or 20 on there.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, so Mr. Whiskey, yeah, we love you, man, and
Yeah.
so proud of you, bro.
Congratulations.
Yes, yeah,
Wow.
it is. It is awesome. It is awesome. So yeah, I'm not sure how long he's in Japan for, but he's there. He's still
Okay.
there. He's still there now. And I saw a couple of his socials mentioning that post. So yeah, that's
Is he
very.
coming back? He's coming back to the show, right?
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah, he's definitely have to. He's gonna come back with stories galore. I'm sure.
No. Maybe
But
we'll
uh,
get to
but yeah,
meet his fiance.
yes, yeah. I hope. Yeah, yeah. I think she's joined him. She's joined him once. I think once or twice before.
Oh, I
Um,
missed that.
yeah, yeah. I'll have to look
Okay.
back in some of the footage. I think she's been on before. There's a co-worker lady that he works with, Imani, that was shared that has been on with him recently. But Camille, I think Camille has been on
Okay.
before when they were early in the dating thing. But yeah, engagement.
That's nice.
I
Happy for
tell you.
happy for both of them.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. So I saw some of your posts with your brother, your I forgot his name. Not your actual brother,
Oh,
your mentor, your longtime friend, mentor over the years. I think was it his birthday, or there's a couple of
so
posts with him.
I'm trying to think of
Ser-
who.
yeah, there's yeah, you're just a crazy, you're just a crazy networker. That's what it is. And I brought it up, and I can't remember for the life of me
I don't.
who it was.
Jim. No, Jim Lutz did not have a birthday.
Is it was it Jim?
Or was it him?
It was somebody's, but oh, it may have been. Oh, it's not on your Insta. Maybe on your Facebook. Um, was it Jim? It could have been
Got me
Jim.
thinking back now.
You
Like
got because you had a lot of pictures with him. That's what made me think about it
I'm
because
thinking Jim Lutz, but
of
that might have been at his event, his
oh,
deep dive
okay.
event. Maybe I was out when I was out there in San Diego,
Oh,
and it might have
okay.
looked like a birthday party, but no, we were all just chit chatting and talking. It wasn't his birthday.
All right. Okay. Nice. Nice. How long were you in San Diego for?
Just for I think I was there 3 days, 3 days, 4 days.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You have to
That's my
come over
former.
there and fly in for a deep dive. Roy Smooth, that's in the UK also. He's a music producer over there where you are. He
Hmm.
flies over all the time. He and Jim are really good friends, but people fly in from all over the world for his events
Oh
because they're
wow.
just that good.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
ball.
What?
It's transformational, and everybody just gels well together.
Mm,
It's hard to explain. I've been and I have a good time. Like Forbes's events are more like a retreat. Jim's are totally different, but I still enjoy
mm,
myself. It's like
mm.
you'll come back and most people just start putting fire across the screen when they're typing to explain their experience there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to check one out.
Oh wow. And that's Jim's event.
Right,
You're
Jim
saying
Lutz.
Jen
It's
Lutz.
called Deep
Okay.
Dive. He has Deep
Deep
Dive and
dive.
he has Millionaire Mind Design.
All right.
And
Deep
no,
dive.
he's not going to hypnotize you at his deep dive. People get scared because he used to be a hypnotist. He's kind of pulled away from that. He might do something like that for fun every now and then, but he concentrates now more on he's a world renowned mind expert.
Mm. All right. All right. What was one of your biggest takeaways from the event in San Diego?
My biggest takeaway. Well, I learned something from everyone.
Yeah.
The person who stood out the most, even though I enjoyed every speaker seriously, because sometimes you're like, oh, that speaker was like a snooze fest. Where's the next person coming? And you're like scratching
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
paper or you're grabbing your phone or whatever. But no, I really was focused and paying attention the entire time. I learned something from
Hmm.
each person. But Marcus Weissman stood out the most to me
Okay.
because he came out on a 10. And if you don't know who he is one of the men with the Blue Man Group
Oh, okay.
with the Vegas show, and he
Yeah.
also is part of Cirque du Soleil. So he comes out like he makes you feel like you're back in kindergarten at your best friend's birthday party. And I'm a
Wow.
big kid. He's a bigger kid because he's on my 10 is his 10 is like mine times 20. And he
Mm.
comes out, hey, and he's sliding across the floor and blowing bubbles and doing all kinds of
Ah.
stuff. My biggest takeaway with him was, as I tell people, but even I need to do even more to me, don't take life so seriously and just have
Mm.
fun.
Yeah.
His entire talk was engaging, it was fun, it was uplifting, and I can still remember most of what he said. It just keep joy. His
Yeah.
title of his talk was a joy experience.
Yeah. I like that. Have fun and keep joy.
Keep joy.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so important. I don't
But
know.
check
I
him
don't know.
out. Google,
Yeah, I
Google
will do.
Marcus or friend him on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not getting paid to plug any of these people. These are friends of mine.
All right. No, that's fine. We've done. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Networking for networking's sake is good. It doesn't have to have
Networking is
anything
good.
in the back of it. But yes, I can definitely concur. Keep having fun and keeping joy. I like because I like the term keeping joy because it implies that implies that you have it. I think joy is somewhat innate. Um, because there's so many times that there's so many things that we have, experiences that we go through, um, and that bring joy without it being anything special. It doesn't have to be, like you said, something luxurious or something spectacular, but seeing a baby, or whether it's a family member or someone else's cute baby, or just seeing
Right.
some being witnessing some experience, and you go, it's not just funny and then just make you happy, but it just kind of it reminds you
Bubbling
that
all
you
over.
got, yeah, it reminds you that you got
Yeah.
joy inside you, and it just brings it to the surface.
See, I'm thinking
um
about that church song we used to sing at Sunday school back when I was a little girl. I went to my Aunt Betty's church a lot for Sunday school, Campbell AME Church on Martin Luther King Avenue in Southeast Washington. And
wow.
Mrs. Jackson, she knew everybody's name, and you wait for her to call your name out. But this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. She would just
Mm,
start singing stuff, and then we would join in. But I remember that being one of the songs.
yeah,
Loved her. Still
yeah,
remember her like it was yesterday.
beautiful,
She
beautiful.
brought joy to everybody.
Oh wow.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And it didn't feel like work, and it didn't feel
No,
like a transaction.
no. You sat there quietly. She could command the room of children,
Mm,
probably about 100 of us, and everybody just sat quietly waiting for her to call your name. And she would go, and there's Steve, and there's Carla, and there's Joyce, and there's Jimmy, and
mm,
there's Michael, and there's Carl. There was another Carla too, Carla Brown, and she would just keep calling everybody's name, and you'd light up when she said your name, and
yeah.
everybody still stayed quiet because you wanted to hear her call everyone's name, and she knew every
Wow.
single child.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I hope those experiences don't ever get lost. I mean, it's tough it's tough in a world where we talk about, our lack of attention. And
Right,
kids can't sit still for 5 minutes.
and they can.
And
They
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 totally
really
can.
can.
They totally
They
can.
can.
It's if you get them in the right context, with the right stimulus, then they definitely can.
You got to excite
They
them.
Yes.
Like Forbes says,
Yeah.
and excite, engage, leverage. Are you
Mm,
exciting? Are you a snooze fest when you open your mouth to talk to them? Then of course
right.
they're not going to pay attention. We as adults don't pay attention to people who are boring. We might sit and pretend and try to be respectful and
Hmm.
look straight ahead. And in our head, we're like, I have
I'm out of
zoned
here.
out 15 minutes ago. I'll be glad when this is over. And we're smiling, and then everybody might start clapping. You might not even know why everybody's clapping because you're not paying attention, but most of them aren't either. They might really be
Right.
trying to clap them off. But with kids, they most of them are going to be just straight up with you.
Hmm.
They'll start moving in their seat or put their head
Yeah.
down or start
Fidgeting.
doing something. Yeah, because you're boring. You're not exciting and engaging them. Keep them
Hmm.
engaged and excited, and then they won't start doing all those so-called behaviors.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very animated when I'm with children.
Hmm.
The younger, even more, of course. But
Right.
as they get a little older, I still am, but not as much because I have to try to be cool and keep my cool
Ah,
facade. But
subdued. You gotta chill.
right,
You gotta
have to be
chill.
chill with them so they won't go, that old lady is whack. But no.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I can be animated with them, but I gotta tone it down until
Hmm.
they get to know me. And then I don't care. I'm just trying to gain their trust at
Yeah.
first, but you gotta be animated to a certain extent and not boring when you're talking to
Right.
people. But this is who I am right now talking to you.
Right.
I'm not a boring person that's a snooze fest. And
Mm,
nobody wants to listen to somebody who's boring, Steve.
yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one sometimes, because you don't. It's getting that. It's getting that balance. It's getting that balance right. Or actually, even as I say that, I don't know what right is, but you've got to get
Right.
that balance. Right?
Well, I
There's a sense of, like you said, a sense of animation, a sense of engagement, Um, I know when um, did I when I was I've been on various stages um, um, to speak, and the one thing all of the all of the best advice starts with is knowing your audience. I
Absolutely.
would go to a venue. I'd go to a venue and be in the venue way before the event I'm speaking at. I did a symposium, which was a bit more of a technical event, um, in San Diego. Interesting enough, I was living in the UK. I was doing my master's degree, and I wrote a paper, and it was submitted for a conference, and I was able to. I was called as a speaker, invited as a speaker to a symposium in San Diego, um, and it's great. I know the place already. It's funny because I'd lived there and I knew the hotel. I'd been there for weddings and church events and so on. So I knew the venue. Went in there way early, walked around, saw the venue itself, saw people coming into the venue, and it allows me to engage with an audience before I'm the person up in stage in front of them. And that way you can actually gauge what sort of energy works for the room, or even just works for the people that you met before. I sometimes don't work the room, I just work a few people
Mhm.
because that makes it more engaging rather than you sort of trying to be there, seeing everybody in the room. You
That's
pick
true.
out you pick out the people. And to your point about being animated, engaging, knowing the audience is key. With kids, there's, like you said, there's a level of excitement and curiosity and intrigue that gets
Right.
built with being animated. Like, who is this person? Could they be my? I wish they were my mum. I wish my
Right.
mum was that way, or I wish my dad was like that.
And
You
then
know,
my
you.
daughter's like, mommy.
That's true.
Like, yeah, she's looking like Tony down. But she knows this is who I am. And she's just like,
Right.
she's looking like, yeah, trying to hide. Right.
And that's a I get I think that's a trait of a good parent. If you can have your kids cover their eyebrows,
That's a good sign.
it's a good sign. I mean, as you say that about your daughter, I can think of so many times my daughters have like, and they are, they're tugging at me, or dad, no, no,
Mhm.
no, you know, and that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing in terms of just, you're you're being out of yourself again. That's that, maybe that alter ego that says, I am going to be the person that engages and really gets people out of themselves, not in a defamatory way. I'm not putting You don't put people down for your own expense, for your own, to lift you up.
Right. Yeah.
And not even necessarily self-deprecating. There's an element of being humble, but you don't want to sort of put yourself down at the expense of an audience. Paint yourself as being nothing or worthless and all that stuff.
No, just kind
You know,
and compassionate. And you want people to have a good time, make them feel like
yeah,
they're at home.
yeah.
And I have to do that. My daughter makes me, well, not makes me, she thinks she makes me, but she asked me to introduce her show every year at her recital. So I'll
Oh,
sit in the audience, and you're right, I do fill the audience out. I look around. Usually, I'm pretty quiet. I sit right in the center seat in the middle
mm,
of the auditorium, so I can see everything that's going on.
yeah.
And then I know when that curtain pulls back about five, I'll look at my watch every so often, and when I know 5 minutes till, and I see that curtain open, and she's like, that head nod, it's time for me to go back. Then she wants me to come up on stage, give all the rules. She wants me to be the bad guy, but I
Ah,
do it in a fun way. Give all the rules, the house rules of the auditorium and
mm,
theater, and what's expected, what's not, what they can expect with the show, where the exits are, where the bathrooms are,
Yeah.
all that good stuff, and then say a prayer, and then on with the show, and then I can sit
Okay,
back
for
down and
sure.
enjoy it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Is there much going on with the kids, the Carla's kids dance things? You got things coming
There's
up?
lots going on. I am recruiting new students. I want to give them some of the same opportunities that some of my former students had, but now even more because I've been exposed to a whole lot more
Mm,
than the kids that I originally had started with here. So I used to take kids to, I talked to one of my former students. She came over last week, Cameron, and we talked about, now she's teaching some little girls for a number at her church
nice.
for Easter.
Mm,
And they always know to call me if they want to borrow a costume. Usually I'm not getting them back. Usually I'll just say, just keep it because I'm not going to get it back most of the time. But she said, we had so much fun. Remember when we did this? Remember when we did that? Remember
mm,
this? And she said, you and I, maybe we need to just get on Facebook Live one day and just talk about some of these memories. She said, I remember when you took us to see your company. You took us backstage with the Dance Theater Harlem, which is
wow.
my company. I called
Yeah.
Keith and arranged that. One time I called Mr. Mitchell to arrange it when he was still on this side of heaven,
Yeah. Yeah.
and arranged that. And kids loved it. Parents loved it because they had never experienced that before.
Wow.
And now Keith is retired, and my friend Virginia Johnson, who was the artistic director after Arthur Mitchell, has
Mm,
stepped down. So now she's retired. So now they
wow.
have some other kids there. But yeah, I still could provide the same experience. I'm sure I could just pick up the phone and call and tell them who
Yeah.
I am and say, hey, I've got some kids who want to meet some dancers, not just see them on the stage during the
Yes.
performance, but either meet
Yeah.
them right before or right after the show.
Yeah.
So I love doing that with them. I love taking them to the theater here
Mm,
and exposing them to my friend Peggy Taphorn. She's the producing artistic director here at the Temple Theater, and letting them see that there are opportunities for them to be in the productions. I've had some of my dance students be in productions over the years,
mm,
and I can still offer those opportunities. But now, with me being not just, I was featured in documentaries many moons
mhm.
ago, back in the DC area, and on PBS and on CBS on Channel 9 back home in DC. But now, with this upcoming episode, that's a
Mhm.
whole nother level with
Yeah.
being connected to Damon John, one of the Sharks, and Rudy Mayer. That's a
Mm,
big deal. So I can get them exposed to other things. I can't promise anything because things are up to the powers that be in these
yeah.
situations, but I have more access now. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for some kids. I'm looking for parents who are serious. I've got some online classes coming up
Mhm.
next week during the spring break. There's a spring break here for my school district, and I'm hoping to have kids signed up. I definitely don't want anyone who's not going to make all 3 days out. There are some exceptions every now and then, but
Yeah.
if they've
Yeah.
already got like vacation plans and they say, I just want them to at least make one of your classes, I'll
Mm,
see how serious they are. But when they take the full package, they get more out of it, and then
yeah. Yes.
they
Yeah.
tend to want to sign up for the rest.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for them. This old lady's ready to get these bones cracking
Ah,
and shaking and moving.
cracking and lacking.
Yeah, I can
Popping.
still move and teach them a little ballet, a little jazz, a little hip hop, and then my specialty is also liturgical dance, not just ballet.
Mm,
It's where they dance to inspirational and Christian music. It's not all
nice.
people think it's just gospel. It's not always gospel music.
Mhm.
Positive things, and it can be any genre of Christian music. I use several
Yeah.
different genres of music, just like I teach several different genres of dance. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for people who are ready and they're serious, but they also have to understand that it's an investment. This
Yes.
is not, can I come for free? No, because then you will not appreciate it, and your child and you and the parent, when I say you, are not going to take it as seriously.
Yeah. 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 That's yeah. There's always a price to pay, and the monetary price isn't is usually not the biggest price, regardless of how much it costs in
Right.
money. That's usually not the biggest price to pay. It is, like you said, the commitment, the willingness to play full out, to participate, to perform, um, to take this on board as transformational, not transactional.
Right.
Um,
It's an
and if
investment in your
Yeah,
child's future.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I certainly appreciate just how far reaching these activities are. I mean, what age group are the kids that would come to
Workshop
the
that I'm going to do
workshop?
is
Mm.
3 to 8, because normally the little ones want to jump around and do things, and
Yeah,
parents need a break. No, I'm not a babysitter, but I
right.
guarantee that I'll become your best friend, because your child will be tired and they'll look forward to coming to my class. And I also,
Good
I
tired.
instill discipline as
Mm.
well,
Yeah,
more confidence, so they'll be more confident, but I do my best to get them tired. So when they
yeah.
finish, they'll kind of just chill out and woosah, and the parent can get a break, or they'll be ready to go to bed. I've heard parents say, when kids are in the car on their way home after dance class, they're like, he passed out in the back. He never does that. He doesn't do that after basketball practice, or he doesn't do that after football practice, or
Yeah,
she doesn't do that after she leaves cheer practice, or whatever it is. But they're
yeah.
out there in the back, knocked out, like somebody gave them some Benadryl or hypnotized them or something. Yeah.
I like that, being the parent's best friend by wearing out the
Be your
kids.
best buddy by wearing
Yeah,
your kid out, and then they notice the behavior changes, because
yeah.
my school is different. It's a whole experience. Yes, I raise their confidence level and their self-esteem by letting them know that they can do anything that they put their mind to, and put
Mm,
work in. They become more
mm,
resilient. They're not so soft to bullying. Not that anybody should be bullying a kid, but
right.
I was bullied. A lot of people were bullied, but did I survive it? Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not on Dr. Phil saying I still need help from the boy who's in my book, who was calling me Miss Froggy. You got to read that chapter.
Yeah.
But uh, kids are more resilient than we think they are.
Absolutely.
Parents and family members often want to just hold them and coddle them all the time. And I'm not saying
Mm.
they don't need that sometimes. So I don't want to have people come for me for that. Yeah, there's a time and a place
Amen.
for that, but
Yeah.
nobody's going to be walking around holding an adult like this. I'm trying to get my arms up and rocking
Hmm.
you every time something goes wrong in your life. You got to
Right.
get over it and learn how to deal with it and walk through it. And
Yeah.
that's what my book talks about a lot. I ain't never been ordinary, nor have you.
Mm.
It's 10 childhood lessons for an extraordinary adulthood. And I know it's a good book. I'm not being conceited. I'm not being arrogant. But when Les Brown says that this book changed his life, that's a big deal.
Mm.
And I'm like, it changed your life? Really? Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, but that's what he said. If you listen
Yeah.
to the video testimonial on my page, that's what he says. And when I talked to him on the phone, he said, "Yeah." He said, "Carla, thank you. We needed this."
Mm.
So I'm telling you, my program's different. We pray. Some
Yeah.
parents say, and I let them know this is a Christian dance school. I don't push one denomination over any. I've had
Yeah.
children who were Muslim. I've had students who were Catholic, Lutheran, Baptist, Kojic, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
or something else that I'm
Hmm.
not even thinking of right now. But it doesn't matter. We all were on one accord.
Yeah.
Parents agreed. They saw how their children were praying. They weren't praying at home before, or they might have just prayed on Sunday, or they might
Hmm.
have just prayed when they were saying their grace for
Hmm.
their meals.
Meal. Yeah.
And some all might have just wanted their parents to do the praying
Mm.
and just wait. But they noticed, no, they're like, one parent, this child has graduated now, but her mom said when she was 3 years old, she said, "Yeah, Jaylee wants to pray all the time." She said, and at first I was like, "Well, you're only 3 years old," but she said, "Miss Carla taught me how to pray. I want to pray." And she said it was at a dinner party that she had at her house, and her
Yeah.
friends were like, "Does she know how to pray?" And she said, "Well, I'm gonna let her." Now, again, granted, Steve, don't expect a 3-year-old's prayer to be all eloquent like Barack Obama or somebody.
Right.
It's not going to be like that. I've heard prayers to Chihuahua, meaning to their Chihuahua. but they're praying to God, but they're praying about Chihuahua and their doll baby, their Oreo cookies, whatever they're thinking about at the time. And that's fine because everybody
Yes.
starts somewhere. We all don't
Yes.
learn how to ride a bike in our sleep in the moment we're born, just like we
Yeah.
don't learn how to walk the moment we're born either. So with prayer, it just takes practice, but
Yeah.
it makes them feel very confident. And everybody claps after they finish. I don't
Mm.
care if they start saying ABC, 1, 2, 3, applesauce, bananas, and pears.
Mm.
Amen. Thank you, God. Then we clap. Oh, wow. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful prayer. And some of the older ones will look like, what? And I kind of give them the mom eye.
The mama eyes.
Like, don't you say a word.
But yeah.
And I'll say, wait a minute before I call. And now everybody's got their hand up because you can only pick with so many because it's time to go home.
Yes.
And everybody wants to pray. Everybody. I would rather kids be excited about praying than not praying, or
Right.
excited about praying than something that they shouldn't be doing that they've seen out here on TikTok
Yes.
that is a
Yeah.
new craze that is going to harm them.
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
pray, it doesn't cost anything, and it's
Yeah.
instilling good values in these kids. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'll
Reinforce
give the
long
side
term.
eye to the older ones because it also teaches them to respect other people.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
the little
Yeah.
ones. It doesn't matter how young they are.
Yes.
If that is their prayer about their Chihuahua, the donuts that they had in the car on the way, or that their mommy's going to take them to get, or some ice cream, then that is their prayer.
That's the
Respect
prayer.
it, clap for them, and then move on.
Yeah.
Just like they're
Yes.
clapping for the older ones, you clap for them too.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
treat
Yeah. No,
everybody
yeah.
the same.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. Every prayer offered is valued.
Absolutely.
And so without it doesn't have to meet a human criteria.
No, there's no standard that
Yes.
it has to meet.
Especially
Absolutely.
for the young ones, like you said, it's being involved in something that is bigger than the event itself. It's not that people would describe it as a dance class, but that's the bare level of what it is. There's so much layered on top of that in
There it
terms of
is.
experience and like you said, growth and resilience. Discipline, understanding, uh, giving other people space to do their thing, to be heard, and then valuing them all. So yeah, the value of those spaces is never lost on me. I coached my girls soccer teams back in the
Oh,
day.
wow.
And so that was and as a strategy for parents, anyone out there that has whatever hacks or strategies that go out there, being involved in that way in my kids' sporting development. I love the sport. I played soccer at their age, whereas
Okay.
a lot of the parents in the States where we were, they may not have grown up with soccer the way I grew up with soccer in England.
Right.
So I was in my element. I was like happy as I don't know what I can describe how happy I was being in that space where I can impart how much there is, how much you can get from being involved in organized sport. That's well run. It's not all about winning. It's not all
Right.
about. It's not all about drilling into the competition, but really just building character, building not just physical attributes, strength and endurance or ability, but the mental game as well, in terms of how you work with your fellow teammates, how you address officials on the field. I mean, we grew up in an era where people disrespect officials in any walk. In most sports, the official group, whether it's the line person, the referee, they have the hardest time because both teams are on them. Right. So just being respecting the rules, therefore you're going to respect the officials, and having strategies to perform at your best. And if and when your best comes up against someone who's better, then that's okay. You delivered your best performance. If it comes up with against someone who's not as good as you, and you come out the victor, then that's great too. But there's a humility with that as well,
Right.
because it's a journey, right? It's about playing the game. It's not about winning the game. There's more longevity in knowing how to play well than just knowing how to win, because you won't win all the time, and
Yeah.
you know
And you won't be
some
the
people
best
get crushed.
and I had to show dancers over the years that as well, especially when we were invited to other churches or events. There's always going to be somebody who is either just as good or better, and then there's always somebody, whether it's a team or group or a school, that's going to be not so good. But you
Mm,
clap for everyone, just
mm,
out of respect for their art and them giving their best effort.
yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
It's cool. It's cool. So yeah, I would, yeah, endorse. I would absolutely endorse the. It's you done a workshop before the event. You're doing a 3 day. You said before
Yes,
the program.
next week.
Yeah. So
Next week.
definitely
Because we
check
need
out.
to do some interviews before because the core group that we work with, we're doing different. We're extending the program. It's not exactly like it was before.
Hmm.
Even though I can handle any number of kids, we want to make sure everybody's getting individualized attention. And the people that I've added to my board now all have other people had the former boards had areas of expertise, but these I've been very strategic about them. And a lot of the board members, not all, but a lot of them I've pulled from my Forbes community. So we
Mm,
have corporate lawyers, we have Tammy. I thought she was going to come on today. She must have gotten tied up. We call her the
yeah.
legal system warrior. She's my business partner, and she's my new COO.
Mm,
And she's really good with children. She's worked with teenage boys before, not just her twin sons that she has that
yeah.
are 20 years old, but she's had many teenage boys living in her home and her
Hmm.
providing care for them. No, like official group home, but these were
Yeah.
kids who needed love. They may have been kicked out of their homes, or for whatever reason were displaced and had nowhere to
Hmm.
go. And she took care of them.
Oh,
That these are the types of people who are on my board now.
yeah.
So I'm really excited. Dr. Virgie Broussard Pradia, she has a new book out called Motivated by Dance. And she
Mm,
is 80 years young, and she can still dance. She used to choreograph. She used to be a professor at Grambling, but she also choreographed for the dancing girls. I don't, and for people who are alumni there, please don't beat me up. I can't remember. Blame it to my head, not my heart. The dancing girls, though, the dance team there. Do you
yeah.
know Dr. Virgie a few years ago performed with them for
Wow.
halftime at homecoming? She can still do splits. She can still do cartwheels, high leg kicks, all that. I'm very impressed.
Man.
I love her dearly, and she's a sweetheart. And her book is out. I'm promoting her too today, but I
Mm,
think she deserves to get extra flowers. But she's
yeah.
on my board of directors as well, and she still dances. She still goes out and performs for some high schools and middle schools and special
Yeah.
programs in her community down there. So I think that's wonderful. And inside of her book, I started reading it the other night. I'm really excited and doing my best to get to get to the middle. She has pictures of herself, and I didn't ask her the stories because I want to read it and find out, and then
Mm,
ask her about it later because I have her phone number and all that. But she has a picture with Muhammad Ali
wow.
in her book. Yeah, not a little teeny one where you're thinking that might be him. A
Yeah.
full page. Richard Pryor on the set, and there's some other people in there, and I'm just like, wow, Dr. Virgie, we didn't know this. Why didn't you tell us? And she's just so humble, like, well, and she'll tell different stories about different things. But that really blew my mind when I started flipping through and seeing some of the
Yeah.
pictures in her book. So if you haven't gotten that book, even if you're not a dancer, motivated by dance. Just reading the beginning chapters,
Right.
I'm like glued to it and don't want to put it down. But I've had other
Yeah.
things that I need to do. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to finish that book.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's a must
Yeah,
read.
80 years young
8
and
years
still
young.
dancing. Doctor, what was her name? Doctor
Dr. Virgie, Virgie. Her middle, and she
Virgie.
still keeps her maiden name Broussard, Broussard.
How
Pradia, Pradia.
Padia? Padia. Okay, I will have a look for that. Yeah, I love the premise. I love the premise of what motivates, and obviously at 80 years old,
Young,
80 years
80
young.
years young.
Sorry, yes, 80 years. Yeah, 80 years young. Um, this isn't a temporary motivation.
No.
This is a calling. This is a yeah.
And we're
Um,
teaming up together along with some other dancers and some other interesting people on my board. So it's going to be a whole totally different experience. Plus, they will have the opportunity to do master workshops with people who are friends of mine who dance professionally. That I normally, if I had to pay for their flight and pay for this and pay for that and do
yeah,
all these fancy contracts to bring them in, it's going to cost more, and then they pay for their lodging and all of that.
yeah,
But now we can do it virtually, so I can expose them to even more dancers from different aspects
yeah,
of the dance world, and they need that.
yeah.
And I think that's an advantage that I can offer that some people are not offering.
Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, there's a richness in the experience. Um, you know, we see it in sports. We kind of give people the accolade for their sporting achievement. Um, they're the gold winner. They're the championship team. They're something that has won the accolade. Um, and while that's all well and good, and that's what kind of drives the promoters and the advertisers and all of the sponsors, if you like. There's another side of that in terms of the person that you have to be that shows up when no one's watching your training.
Right.
The person who has to go through, whether you're watching play reels from games that you were playing in, or whether you've got to get together with a fitness coach, whether you've got to get together with a performance coach, just because you're not in the right headspace. The person who has to deal with personal personal in terms of their physique or the injuries, whether or personal within their family dynamic, and still be expected to perform in their sporting or dance, in arena. So it would be, I think, being exposed to that side, that 360, almost that whole complete view of the person, and not just, it's so easy to just sort of say, oh, they're a dancer. I know what a dancer is. I know what a dancer means. But do you really,
Right.
till you have that engagement with the person? And Dr. Virgie coming up through the years with her experience, and at 80, there's a lot that happened in these last 80 years
Yes.
in terms of societal changes, technology changes, that I think there's going to be a thread that endures in her story
But
to keep her
what's up with it
motivated.
all? Dr. Virgie and some of my friends and sisters, as I call them, my sisters, in our Forbes community, they are better at tech than me and a lot of other people. And I'm not embarrassed to admit it. She is taking what's called GSD. It's run by Forbes' son and her daughter, McKenna Riley, Riker Riley, who it's his company, and then he and
Mm,
McKenna run it together. But they teach people our age, Steve, usually 50 and over. Some a little younger, but usually 50 and over,
Yeah.
how to work. Well, you're an IT person, so you already know this stuff. But me, no, I don't. I was an expert on the Wang computer, and now the people who are
I used
younger
to
than
work
us
for
are
Wang.
like, "What is she talking about?" Yeah, I was an expert on the Wang. I thought I was going to be a computer programmer when the Wang was out, and then time went by, and then it was like, okay, no, this is not the field for me. But Dr. Virgie, we've got some more. Anna J. Anna J can outdo
Yeah.
anybody on Canva all day long and created her own website. And she's 75. She's
Wow.
75 or 76. And she said, I don't do that. I'm too old to do that. And I'm not trying to learn it. But now she's better than anybody in our community doing all this
Beautiful.
stuff, even creating designs for books.
Beautiful.
She's doing it all. And then Ruth. Ruth is 81 and she still works every day. And she's pretty good with the tech stuff, but
Yeah.
she's still analyzing handwriting at 81 years old in the courtrooms
Wow.
up in Detroit. She's well sought after, and
Yeah.
she even
That's,
helped Jack Kevorkian's case. I've seen the
wow.
pictures. She showed me the pictures of them when she was helping with his case. So they're
Yeah.
amazing. That's why I say 80
Wow.
years young. They're
Yes.
young.
Yeah, that is cool. You've embarrassed me by mentioning Wang
So
computers because that was one of my first jobs out of college. I worked for Wang and worked on their word processing systems, the Wang
I was an
OIS,
expert on that. I thought I was really
and
doing something. My dad was working in data processing for the Metropolitan Police Department at the time,
Mm,
and he brought one home, and I had my own, and that's when I was creating my flyers for Carla's kids back then. When you had to cut and paste, and you only had certain little things you could
yeah.
create on there. Yeah, I thought I was the master at flyers and all that stuff. Yeah. Now look at
So
Canva many years later. Right.
yeah, there you go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, that's very nostalgic. Yeah, Wang was a yeah, was a good. Those are good times. A lot of the U.S. banking and legal companies in London. I was in London. Used them. First Bank Chicago. Arthur Anderson back at the time when it was Arthur Anderson. A couple of the bigger players, and they had, that was when you had typing pools. You had large networked office information systems. That's what OIS stood for, and it was all green screen. And this was even before Word Perfect and Word came out. This
That
is,
wasn't
yeah,
even none of that was
a
around.
real
I even
thing.
remember the IBM cards from my babysitter when she worked at IBM. God rest her soul, Louise Walker, and she would bring the used IBM cards home, and we would write our spelling words on them.
Ah,
Her daughters, and Dana Walker is an educator in Pitt County down in Greenville, North Carolina. But we used to play school all the time and use those and write. And then sometimes we would pretend like we had jobs, and we would pretend like we were punching in because they had the little
yeah,
holes
the
in them.
holes in them.
Yeah, and we would pretend we had very vivid imaginations, and we had fun for hours doing that.
Yeah.
If you gave some kids some of those now, they probably look at you
Oh,
like,
they
what?
roll their eyes.
What is this
Yeah.
mess? And let me take you back even further, Steve. Do you remember the Fairchild? Not before Atari, Fairchild video games. My dad bought my brother and I one, and it would just
Yeah.
do do do
Oh,
do, and then you could make it
the single block. Yeah, that's the
and you
single
can make it go
pixel.
diagonal a little bit and hit the ball back on the other side of the screen. We thought we were really doing something with that Fairchild. And we were the only ones that had one, I think, on our street for a while. And then when we came to North Carolina in the summer or during Easter and the holidays with our family, our cousins couldn't wait to play with it because we had that Fairchild.
Yeah.
It really couldn't do that much. And I think it might have come with like 3 games
Okay.
built in, and that was it. And we were so
You had to
proud
make
of that.
do. You had to make do with 3 games.
That was out before Atari. Yeah. Kids are probably like,
Oh,
what is she talking about?
what is she?
What? She's
Well,
speaking another
the thing
language.
is, it's a core. It's interesting because even even it's nostalgic, and I appreciate that. There's an element that says um, there is a value. We got sold a we got. I feel like we got sold a bill of goods with regards to choice. More choice always meant better, and don't I don't believe that. I don't believe that, and we've seen it's borne out that when you have when you have no choice, more choice is better than no choice.
Right.
But when you've got enough choice, more doesn't add anything. It actually, you get to a point where it starts to take away. You have, people have decision fatigue. They have analysis paralysis. They get into their head about each choice has less value because you now got 30 of them as opposed to three. If I've got no choice, then that's not really fair. If that's, if I have to make a choice and I've got none, then that's not really good. But if I have to make a choice from three, I would probably be more comfortable making a choice from three rather than making a choice from 300.
Right.
Because all of those choices don't really add up to much.
No.
When we had three TV stations, or when a game console came with three games on the cartridge or the cassette or whatever it was, you made those games work for you, and your friends. So
went off when the Star Spangled Banner came on. That was it. It was time to go to bed. People that were, I don't think that most people didn't probably have insomnia then because you had no other choice. Go to bed, read a book, or go to bed.
Yeah.
What else were you going to do? There was no TV all night long and all day long. No.
There you go. And it leads to more light pollution because people have more lights on because they're up late. And I'm guilty of that. I'm a night bird, and night can blend into day if now that you don't have any of those natural guardrails that say, TV shows and TV stations are closed, therefore you've got a time to watch TV versus having it widely available to you. So while I get there's a benefit of having choices, I think our decision making structure gets overwhelmed or it gets compromised because of it. We see it now where people are, when you're inundated with something, you don't just choose something, you end up choosing nothing. You withdraw from the discussion, you withdraw from the choice rather than making one, because you get to a point where whichever one you make, you feel you're doomed for criticism or failure or something. Or you make a decision in one, you choose A, and then you ruminate over B, C, D, E, and F.
See, my parents, mother and father, do you want this or that? Or we're going here.
Binary is best.
that was it. You eat your
Binary
food
is best.
or you eat nothing. Right. You clean up your room or you don't go outside. Real simple with the choices.
Yes.
You don't have to clean up your room, but you won't go outside. So
right.
Do your homework or you don't go to bed until it's done. And my mother did not play that, especially being an educator. My brother, I would get mine done because I did not want to be that person. But my brother was like, well, if I stay up long enough, she'll let me go to bed. Yeah. No, not the one that works for Disney. That's my dad and my stepmom Gloria's son, even though he's still my brother. Not my baby brother, but my late brother Wayne. Wayne, or Sil as we affectionately called him, would be up late. I don't know if it was 12 o'clock, midnight, or 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But my mom was like, I'm going to bed. And guess what? You're not. And you're going to finish that work. Because he would just, like if he did 3 and they were right and she checked them off, because my mom would check our homework before we could put it in our book bag to take to school. She would check everything. And my brother would just take his time, like, I do 3, she'll let me just stop doing it and write me a note. No, she made him finish his work.
Yeah.
So sometimes the light was on in that kitchen because my brother was down there by himself finishing his work while she was upstairs in her room sleep. Now she would come down and check every so
Yeah,
often and
yeah,
make sure he was still up doing it. And he learned finally, I forgot what grade or how many months it took with her making him do that. He learned that you have a choice.
yeah.
Do your work when you're supposed to and go to bed when you're
Mm,
ready and when it's time, or you will stay up until it's done.
it's done. Yeah, yeah. Binary, but like I said, binary is best, and and I guess in that, and it's best for lots of reasons. It's the easiest decision to make when it's binary. Most That's why computers work on binary. You know, it's either on or off.
Right.
In the most basic sense of technology, it's a binary system, and it also means that it also means you have the most resources to enforce the decision, like your mum saying, you stay up and do it or get it done in a decent time,
Right.
and both choices can be enforced in a, there's resources to enforce two choices. When you have 15,
Yeah.
well, do it later, do it after your dinner, don't eat your dinner, don't, do you want to play on the PlayStation, don't play on the PlayStation, you want to go out with your friends, don't go out with your friends. And you got six or seven decisions now. Each of those take work.
Many. My parents would just cut and dry. They, you going to church today? Because you're not up yet. I'm not really feeling well. Okay, feel better. We're gonna go to church and we'll bring you your Gatorade and something to eat from church if they sell dinners or whatever we pick up.
Yeah.
But you don't get out of the bed. You don't come out of your room unless you got to go to the bathroom all day. So it was like, who? Maybe I should have pushed through to go to church anyway. Right.
Yeah,
Same
I
thing if we
got
didn't
out
go
of
to
the
school.
house.
My dad would make us stay in the bed all day long. And he would take off of work from the police station and tell my mom, I got him. I'll watch him. He put the cover up to your neck. And he was constantly bringing cups of water. We have to drink a lot of water anyway with the sickle cell and
Yes, the signal,
thalassemia.
yeah.
But it was like he was bringing these big gulp cups and made us drink even more. And it was like, I can't drink anymore. I can't eat anymore. And there was no TV on like we were
Mm.
at a hospital somewhere.
Yeah, you're
No,
sick.
you need to rest. You're sick. You're sick. Let me close your door back. You don't even need to hear what's going on out here. You're sick. I'll be back when it's time to bring you some more food, or you can holler out and I'll bring you something else to drink. I didn't want anything else to drink because I already had drinks by my bed on the little side table. And he did overkill. So you did not want to stay home.
Yeah.
So we learned to push and be more resilient. Now, my mom, she'd send us to school anyway. The nurse or
Okay.
somebody had to call and say it was a real emergency before she'd come pick us up. And
Yeah.
you'll read about that in my book. But
You
I'm glad,
you
I'm glad
mentioned
they
your
were
mom
like that.
before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I'm
mentioned
glad.
your mom before. Like, yeah, let the nurse call me. Drink water. Did you drink
Drink
your
some
water?
water.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, Carl, this has been beautiful, man. I'm just looking at the time here. We've gone. I normally try and keep
Oh,
this within
wow.
an hour, but
Okay.
I love the fact that you see, binary is best. It's just the two of us, having
For
a chat
myself.
and reminiscing and stuff. But covered a lot. We covered a lot. And I appreciate your heart. And it's I always enjoy connecting with you. So
Same here.
um,
Thank you.
and I know our paths are gonna. I know our paths are gonna meet in person sooner rather than later for sure. I
Yes. I'm
won't
gonna have
be.
to
I
come
won't
to
be.
Jamaica.
Yeah, I won't be too far away on the island. And I'd extend an invite anytime. You're more than welcome to come visit.
Thank
Come
you.
visit
I
the.
already
Come
told my
visit.
family you're coming to a pig out one day. I
Yeah.
told them you wanted to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
You told me about those world famous.
Yes. Has nothing to do with pork. It's what my uncle Winford decided to title it, the Family Pig Out Weekend. And when he comes
Yeah.
down from Silver Spring, he likes to pay for everybody, and then you just get whatever you want. Now, a
Mm,
few times we've gone. One of the last time we went to the seafood restaurant here, Bay Breeze, and he still paid for everybody, but it wasn't a buffet. You just had to order whatever
yeah.
you want. But when we go to Golden Corral, that's one of his favorites. And my uncles, they all love it. So I just join and go to. And he writes the check and leaves it at the front, or he'll pay for it all at the end. And that's what we do. And they're used to us, because they're like, okay, how many more y'all is it? They reserve the room and then a little extra space for us.
Oh, beautiful.
So you can join us. They said, yeah, your friend can join us. Is he in town? No, Steve's over in the UK. They said, oh, okay, well, when he comes, tell him we got him. We'll pay for him.
Oh,
yeah.
The Southern hospitality is legendary, and that would definitely make a trip worthwhile. I've got aunties in Georgia, so they're not too far.
Not too far.
But that would be great. Carla, let's catch up again soon.
Sure.
Definitely want to hear more about the kids dance as well, as we've been talking offline, and we get that set up. But thanks for joining me on the water cooler. For those that are watching on replay, again, whiskey, you got our blessings, bro. That is so cool. I didn't get Annie today, or Laura, but that's fine. We'll catch up with the regulars another time. But we'll catch up soon then, Carla. All right, take care.
Steve.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right then, bye-bye.